many people here watch Top Chef? How many people know that guy? For those of you who don't know Top Chef, it's one of Bravo's, it's one of our proudest shows. We're in our 8th season. We brought back a bunch of fan favorites, people that we really like. And Wednesday nights, 10 o'clock, you can watch it. We're going to do a cookie demo here in what, a couple minutes, Richard? As soon as I'm done talking. So if everyone just pays attention to the monitors up here, we're going to roll cameras and introduce you to our chef. Just as soon as we're done looking at these people.
I think most people remember my season for me losing my season.
I feel like I, choked.
Stephanie, you are Top Chef. Really?
I should have won. Slow down, slow down. Just as not winning I described as my saddest professional moment, winning would be my proudest professional moment.
I like, equipment and gadgets and toys, but it's important to simplify and focus on execution. Not bite off more than you can chew. There are probably, less than a dozen chefs in the country that cook with liquid nitrogen. There's a lot of things that you can do with the nitrogen culinarily.
I've never seen such a technique. As a chef, the day you don't learn anymore, it means you're so egomaniac, you're blind.
I'm the best chef here. I think I have the most skill. I think I have the most ambition. I think I'm the only one who's a craftsman and an artist. I'd like to, prove to myself that that's not just in my head.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to the Professor, Richard Blaze.
All right. So although that the skit just said that my proudest professional moment would be winning Top Chef, it's not true. It's being here with you guys. Woohoo! So you guys are much better than the last crowd. Is anyone here from the last segment? All right, good. We can talk about that all we want. All right, so, I'm into gadgets and toys, and what a perfect place to sort of talk about technology when it relates to food and toys and all that good stuff. So we're going to do a dish that features one of my favorite ingredients and techniques, and the ingredient's liquid nitrogen, right? This is sort of, if Richard Blaze was a band, this would be like my drum kit. I travel all over with this. We can take this now. All right, I'll leave it up. Take this. This is a 650-pound tank of liquid nitrogen. Very tough to get through airports. You guys are laughing at my jokes. This is great. This is great. What is liquid nitrogen? Nitrogen is all around you. It's part of the atmosphere. It's something like 78% of the atmosphere. I don't claim to be a scientist or a professor, although some of my castmates dubbed me the professor this season. But don't be scared of it, because you're actually breathing it in right now. This happens to be a compressed version of what atmospheric nitrogen is. This is a liquid form of it. So in its liquid state, it is very, very, very cold. Again, I could probably bore you and tell you that it's minus 347 degrees Fahrenheit. Does that sound right? But I can also tell you it's really, 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 really cold. Right? We like to think of it in my kitchen as cold as frying oil is hot. I think that's really the best way to view it from a culinary standpoint. You have oil, it's really hot, and we're going to kind of use the nitrogen like we would use frying oil. We're going to fry something in a cold temperature instead of a hot temperature. So what you just saw me do here was take our liquid nitrogen, take it out of our tank. As soon as it hits the atmosphere, it starts boiling away. You can actually see it in the container, sort of boiling and simmering. If you walk by it at a glance, you might even think this is just boiling water, which is really neat for me as a chef, because I can kind of play tricks with your head a little bit and send out soup that looks like it's really hot, but it's cold, and I can really have fun manipulating texture. So here is our nitrogen, and this is our nitrogen fryer. One thing, of course, just like I said, it's as cold as oil is hot. You definitely don't want to touch it with your hands. That's something I recommend. All right. It is an integral part of my hair recipe, which is equal parts duck fat and liquid nitrogen. Again, these are things you don't really want to do. Right? And the only reason I do that when I get into if I'm at a university, they hate, or if I'm at a high school, they hate when I do that. But the reason I do that is just to show you that it's not oh my goodness, and it's going to explode, that sort of ingredient, right? Matter of fact, if this was frying oil, I wouldn't be swirling it around in my hand, so I like to think that it's actually a touch safer than hot frying, which is pretty dangerous, but now that we've got the danger out of the way. No one's nervous anymore, scared? The first row, you did get the memo, though, about the raincoats and the helmets, right? Okay, just want to make sure we're on the same page. So now we're going to actually fry our dish, or start frying our dish. And this is a popcorn sickle, of course. Okay? That wasn't that funny. Yeah, thank you. Right? But this is a caramel popcorn ball. Quite delicious on its own, right? But even more delicious when it gets fried or takes a bath in liquid nitrogen. So let's throw a few of these in here so I can just kind of show this a couple of small ones. All right, so again, it's really, because popcorn is so porous, actually we're freezing the popcorn, we're making it very crunchy. Of course, we're changing the temperature to be very cold, and we're changing the experience of eating the popcorn. And hopefully for the better. This is my philosophical rant of the demonstration, but I would never use a technique just for the theater of it or just for the show of it. I think a lot of times when people talk about molecular gastronomy, I'm not a big fan of the word, but or modern food, that's what they think, that this stuff is being done just because it's flashy and there's a theater to it. There is a theater to it, that's a great bonus, but if it didn't make the food better, I would never use it. And most chefs in this genre would never use it. Philosophical rant over. We're all good? Now you use it? Okay. All right, so we have our popcorn frying away in our nitro fryer. And then, again, you guys want to taste this, right?
We're going to taste it.
Come on, you gotta get like, real celebrity. You guys want to taste this, right? Yeah! I was saying, if Paula Dean came out here and said mayonnaise, you guys would go crazy. All right. I love Paula Dean, though. Say that. All right, so you gotta see too, it does have a neat visual to it, right? You're walking down the street, hot day, New York City, right? Or Vegas, even hotter day, right? Mario. And then just kind of show you so you're not afraid when you get yours to eat it. You guys heard the sound, right? It really amplifies the crunch. And even from an audio aspect, changes the experience. In your head, that crunch makes it more crunchy, makes it more delicious. And I think as you taste it, the goal is this better than a caramel popcorn, which is pretty good. It hopefully is. Let's pass some of those out. I have one other small little dish along the same theme.